Hi guys. So last time we have learned about joint and marginal frequencies and the two-way frequency tables. You also have watched on Algebra Nation how to complete two-way relative frequency tables. And the way we do these kind of tables is we take each of the joint frequencies, which are those green ones right here, and each of the marginal frequencies in the table, and we divide every single one of those by our total. So in this case it was 131. So we take 25, we divide by 131, we take 40, divide by 131, and so on. Okay, those numbers right here, those decimals, are our relative frequencies. The pink ones are the joint relative frequencies, and the blue ones are the marginal relative frequencies. Now, each of those relative frequencies can be written as a decimal, the way it is written in the table right now. It could be written as a fraction, so just this number right here, or it could be represented as percent. So anytime you see a ratio, a percent, or a decimal, you know that's going to be a relative frequencies. Now, both of these kinds of tables give you a lot of information about your data and display data really neatly, but they don't always give you a really precise picture. So for that, we're actually going to learn something new today. We use conditional relative frequencies. And the way these are different is that we don't compare data to the whole total. We only compare data that is in a single row or a single column. So for example, here I have a table that represents the preference for a class between males and females. Okay, if I look at this table right here, you guys can look at the numbers for the math. You might think that males tend to like math more than females based on the way this table looks. However, if we do conditional frequencies, if we only look at a single row, so let's say if we look at the males and we divide each number in the row for the males by the total that was at the end for the males, then you will see that 45 divided by 90 is 0.50, and 45 divided by 0.90 is 50. 50% of males like math. If we look for the same thing at the females, and this is not complete, I'm not sure why this should be 50. Right, and this should be 140. If we take now the number of females and we divide each of those two numbers by the total of that row, we'll see that we had 30 divided by 50 is 0.60, and 20 divided by 50 is 0.40. We had 60% of females that like math. So if now we'll compare the numbers for males and females, you can see that actually females, even though fewer in this table, females prefer math more than males based on this data. Okay. Now, another thing that you guys need to know is association. If we look at the conditional relative frequencies, like in this table here, and we see a difference in those numbers between the two different rows, then we know that there's some sort of association or relationship between these data points. So for example, we can see that there's some sort of an association between a gender and the preferred subject, okay? Because females tend to like math more than males based on this data. This is made up, so obviously might not be true, okay? So now we're gonna move on to our practice problem.